Hello, I'm Officer Shavit, Goffstown Police Department.
And I'm Kelly Slee with the Goffstown Police Department.
We are going to be going over some elderly fraud protection and scams with you guys to inform you of some of the scams that are going on right now, some of the past and present scams, as well as how to protect yourself.
All right, let's get started. So our objective today is to aid in the prevention of various types of fraud and scams to victims through education, information, and resources. So let's go through some statistics. Elderly, for statistical purposes, elderly is 50 years older and up. It's estimated that around 5%, which is nearly 2 to 3 million of the elderly population, suffer from some sort of scam every year. These scams equal to be nearly $3 billion a year profit to scammers. It is important that the average victims, or is reported that the average victim's monetary loss somewhere between $600 to $120,000. It is estimated that only 1 in 44 victims actually reports the crime itself. So let's talk about elder abuse. Financial elder abuse in which a senior citizen is coerced, bullied, or tricked into relinquishing hard-earned assets is the most common form of elderly abuse, and it's the fastest growing. It can also be known as elder financial exploitation or elder financial abuse. Can be by a loved one through the misappropriation of your finances or through abusive financial control. Can also be perpetrated by complete strangers through the manipulation of information and gaining your trust. So let's talk about today's scammers and how they come to scam you. Today's scammers are on the phone, knocking on your door, and they're online. Scammers will use extreme kindness, or they can be extremely aggressive. They will base the experience on what they feel will work best after just a few moments of speaking with you. Their common goal is to get the most information and financial gain from you as possible without alerting to the possibility of it actually being a scam. So why do these scammers pick you as the elderly? In an article from the FBI, it is summarized that the elderly are more likely to have their finances in check, own their home, and have a nest egg, and have excellent credit. People who grew up in the 30s, 40s, and 50s are more trusting and more polite. These traits are exploited by scammers as it is expected that the victim will be less likely to say no or just hang up the phone. The elderly are less likely to know they have been scammed or to even report the incident itself. Even if the crime is reported, they may make poor witnesses due to poor cognitive function and memory loss, which in return could lead to less details about the incident. On the other hand, the elderly could be less well off financially, and the thought of free gifts, cheaper medications also make them more susceptible to being a victim. So here's the struggle. Many scams are being perpetrated by criminals operating from foreign countries and are beyond the reach of state, local, and law enforcement. Scammers disguise their real phone numbers using fake caller IDs and other methods. Computer software allows for disguised IP addresses and information. Lack of reporting. The elderly are less likely to report the crime because they do not know who to report it to, they're too embarrassed, or they are ashamed or do not even realize at the time they're being scammed. So let's talk about some definitions and terms. So what is a scam? The term scamming is slang for defrauding or swindling and is often used to describe fraudulent internet business schemes. This type of trickery involves gaining someone else's possessions or money under false pretenses. Elderly fraud, abuse of financial control or misappropriation of financial resources, resulting in harm to an elderly victim in a relationship where the perpetrator is in a position of trust. Malware, short for malicious software. They are computer programs designed to infiltrate and damage computers without the user's consent. Malware is the general term covering all different types of threats to your computer safety. Ransomware, a type of malicious software designed to block access to a computer system until a sum of money is paid. Phishing, the fraudulent practice of sending emails purporting to be from reputable, can I say that? Reputable companies in order to induce individuals to reveal personal information such as passwords and credit card numbers. Robocalls, an automated telephone call which delivers a recorded message typically on behalf of a political party or a telemarketing company. Victim, a person who is tricked or duped.
All right, guys, next we're going to talk about some types of scams. Now, we're going to go over a few at the end of me listing off a whole bunch of them, but it's just to give you guys an idea of the various types of scams that have been from 50 years ago, 20 years ago, up until today. So we're going to list through a few of them, and then at the end of that, we're going to go over some so you guys get a better idea of what is entailed with those scams. So some of the types of scams you may face are business email compromising scams, celebrity imposter scams, census scams, charity scams, credit card interest rate scams, credit repair scams, cruise scams, which is like vacation cruises, cryptocurrency frauds, debt collection scams where they're looking for your money, debt relief scams, excuse me, dietary supplement scams, disaster scams, things as bad as funeral scams, fake check scams. Big one is a grandparent scam, health insurance scams, holiday scams, identity theft, and I'm jumping around here, but there's a whole bunch of them. Medical identity theft, Medicare fraud, moving scams, online pharmacy scams, phishing scams such as, phone scams, ransomware, robocalls, we've already talked about those things. Social security scams is a big one. Tax preparation around tax season. Things like targeting your VA pension, veterans charity scams, veteran scams, weight loss scams, and they go on and on and on. But a few that we're going to talk about, to start, we're going to talk about charity scams. So charity scams is when someone is posing as a new or existing charity, church, agency, or other with the intent of soliciting a monetary amount from the victim for their cause. Before donating, you should do some research, unless you have been given to this charity before and feel they're comfortable. However, it's still not always foolproof. Sometimes people will pose as a legit charity or church or whatnot that you may be familiar with, but it does not mean that it is them. You should do a search of the charity name with additional terms like complaints, reviews, rating, or scams. And when you type in something such as a charity name with scam or any of those in there, it usually will pop up if there's been any kind of issues and let you know. If they're asking for any kind of a money transfer or gift cards, you can sure believe is not real. Pay by credit card or check to be safer and keep record of your donation. And if there's any red flags or if you're unsure, play it safe and do not donate, do it in person. Another big one, which is popular always, is the gift card scam. In this gift card scam, the caller will use any number of scams with an end result being that the purchase of the gift cards can fix the situation. And by that, what I mean is that list of scams I had already given to you, the gift card scam or the way they ask for the gift cards is applicable through almost any scam as far as a form of payment. So for example, the IRS calls and states that you owe money to avoid any further unnecessary issues. You can take care of the issue by purchasing gift cards and provide them with the numbers on the card. I'm sure you're already thinking to yourself, why would the IRS call me and request gift cards? And that's because it's not the IRS, it is a scammer. Once the numbers on the cards are provided to the scammer, however, the drain of the value of the card will quickly be taken off. So you may still have the card in your possession, but by giving them that number on the back, they have now removed all funds from that gift card. There's no reputable company, business, or government agency, especially, that will ever ask or demand for payment using gift cards. A tech support scam, another very popular one. This is said to be one of the most popular and perhaps successful scams out there. An example of this one would be that you get an unsolicited call from someone claiming to be with somebody like Microsoft or Windows tech support, who says that they've detected viruses on your computer. Most people have either a Microsoft or Windows application at home on a laptop or a desktop computer, so this might spark some interest as to maybe they do have something on their computer. So in order to protect your data, you are told to immediately call up a certain website and follow its instructions. A dummy screen may appear that shows viruses being detected and eliminated. This is a screen that scammer has provided on your laptop and is not a legitimate screen from your computer. But in reality, malware is being installed that allows the scammer to now steal your usernames and passwords, hold your data for ransom, or even use the webcam to spy on you. To avoid issues, bring your device to a legitimate business in person for service. Never give remote access to your device. A silent call. The phone rings, you pick it up, say hello, but there's no one on the other line. It's a robocall, an automated computer system making tens of thousands of calls a day to build a list of humans to target for theft. By answering the phone, the software will see that there is a human response to catalog your phone number for later use. Learn to screen your phone calls. If you do not recognize the incoming phone number, it may be a scam. Generally, humans will leave a message looking for a call back. Robocalls will not. Another big popular one, IRS imposter scams. Someone claims to be from the IRS and either phones or leaves a voice message saying that you owe back taxes and threatening that unless funds are wired immediately, legal action will be taken or you will be arrested. Or they may say that you have a refund waiting but need to verify personal information before they send it to you. Everybody wants money and nobody wants to go to jail. So these are two easy ways that they get you. They reel you in and then they look for you to send them that money or whatever else they ask you for. Just know that the IRS does not call people. They do not generally send out letters with intents, and their request is always that they contact the IRS. If you do receive a call from someone claiming to be the IRS, do not give them any personal information and end the call. If you so desire and you think that there may be an issue or something that you need to continue with, call the IRS by a number you find online and make your own inquiry to this. Bank and credit card scams. Another popular one. I'm going to say that every time because I pick these because they're very popular. Banks and credit card companies now issue chip cards. The data is protected in an integrated circuit rather than a magnetic strip, and there's a dynamic code that resets after each use. So credit cards and debit cards have come a long way, and they're trying to find further ways to continue to protect you, but nothing is foolproof, okay? The FTC is warning that con artists are impersonating card issuers and sending emails requesting personal and financial information or asking that you click on a malware-laced link before issued a new card. The fraudsters are sending emails purporting to be from companies such as an American Express that convincingly use the company's logo and color scheme and even have footer links such as view our privacy policies and contact us. These are basically mirror images of the actual and legitimate pages by these credit card companies. However, they have been duplicated and they result in you getting malware on a computer. No credit card company will email or call you to verify personal info if it has already been on file before mailing a new card. At most, you'll get a letter in the mail saying it will arrive soon. If you ever are unsure, simply call the number on the back of your card, not the one supplied by the email, but look at the back of your card, and when you call them, you ask if somebody's been looking for you. Romance scam. Reports are surfacing in the AARP's Fraud Watch network about new information in romance scams. Traditionally, these scams have involved con artists stealing the hearts of unsuspecting singles, many of them seniors, and then using various ploys to steal money. But now scammers are targeting faith-based sites like Big Church Christian Mingle, JDate, and others. People are more likely to fall for scams on sites like these because they can't believe somebody of their own faith is a con artist. Before getting involved with anyone online, use Google or other apps like Spokeo to research the person and even view his or her address on Google Maps. Finding no results is definitely a red flag. It is rare that there would be no information available regarding a person when conducting a search. Fake apps. There are a lot of spoof, or fake downloadable apps available for free or purchase. These apps can often be hard to spot, and once purchased, will install malicious malware focused on gaining access to your phone or your computer. Once access is gained, they will steal passwords and other personal information. Take the time to review the app information, read reviews on the app, and choose popular ones that you've heard of to ensure that it's authentic. You can also limit the app's access to your location by adjusting your device's privacy settings. The gift voucher scam. This ripoff involves getting an unsolicited email from a business like McDonald's, Subway, or another popular restaurant or retailer, offering a free gift card if you click to a link to activate it. The pitch looks great, looks legitimate, but it's a phishing scam, meaning that the perpetrator is either trying to install malware on your computer or gather personal info by having you complete an online questionnaire. Never click a link in an unsolicited email or divulge any personal information, no matter how enticing the offer. Do a Google search, such as McDonald's gift card scam, and see if any warnings come up. In most cases, you will find them. The grandparent scam. The grandparent scam is a form of telephone fraud. The scammer phones a grandparent and pretends to be a grandchild in distress and asks that the funds be wired to a specific location. Generally, it will be that they were arrested and are in jail. They request bail money to be sent to the jail to get them out of jail. They hope by the scammer that the victim does not regularly speak with the grandchild and is counting on the victim's good nature. Easy solution is that you call the police department or other that they say they are being held at for further information, or call the child's parents and advise of what you were told. Utility scams. It is fairly easy for a scammer to get information on the service provider in your area, such as Eversource, Comcast, Unitil, Verizon. Based on this information, the scammer will pose as said company and attempt to solicit information from you regarding an overdue bill or issue with personal information. The play is that you do not want interruption of your power, cable, or phone and will make payment immediately. Easy solution to locate a phone number for yourself and call the entity back advising of what you were told.
Whew,
That was a mouthful. We hope you're still paying attention here.
that's a lot of scams to go through. So let's talk about protection. You can avoid and prevent things like ransomware, and other malware by backing up your systems locally and in the cloud, using early detection systems like ransomware protection software and anti-malware software. You can also run frequent and scheduled security scans on your device. Avoid answering emails and advertisements that you do not recognize. You don't know who it's from, you don't know the advertisement, do not click on it. Avoid answering the phones for numbers you don't recognize. If you do answer, ask questions and challenge the caller as to why they are calling you. Never give out any personal information on the phone unless you are confident the source is legit. Talk with a family member for advice before going any further. Call the credit card company, the utility company, or anybody else back using the phone numbers on the card or from the internet. Research, research, research. The internet is as helpful, but it can also be hurtful. If there is ever any doubt or concern, stop what you are doing and just hang up. Shred rather than just throwing anything in the trash that you get in the mail that has your name on it, date of birth, any type of important information. Credit card offers, loans, anything from your bank, shred all of that information. Avoid signing up for raffles and other free stuff, as your information could and probably will be sold to a third party. Allow for a trusted loved one to have copies of your bank accounts so they can also check for fraud. This does not necessarily give them access to your account. However, it's always nice to have a second set of eyes that can look over your account and help you prevent fraud. Some banks and credit unions have safeguards that can be set in place, such as spending limits and pre-approval for larger purchases. Join a credit monitoring company or apply for credit cards that provide fraud prevention monitoring services. So let's talk about reporting. If something happens to you with a fraud or a scam, call your local law enforcement. Call your financial institution, such as your bank, call your credit card company, advise them, let them know. What's most likely going to happen from a financial institution or a credit card company is they're going to tell you to call the local police department to file a report. So let's talk about what other places you can call to help you through this situation. The FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, AARP, the American Association of Retired Persons, Fraud Watch Network, the AG's office, the Attorney General's office, and D's, Division of Elderly and Adult Services. Some resources for you. The National Adult Public Services Association is a nonprofit organization that acts as a forum for people who have been the victims of elder abuse. Through information sharing and problem solving, they aim to improve the quality of life for victims and also prevent abuse from happening. Here you can learn about financial exploitation and find help in your local area. The National Committee for the Prevention of Elder Abuse is to promote research, education, and awareness of elder abuse and improve prevention and response. They do this by creating a dialogue with professionals that represent a number of different areas, including healthcare, social services, and finance. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is a government agency that works to make sure financial institutions treat everyone fairly. This agency aims to protect consumers from deceptive or abusive practices and holds offending companies responsible for their actions. Their website contains a wealth of information on research, compliance, and educational resources. Elderly Financial Protection Network, recognizing how severe elder financial abuse has become. It's dedicated to helping people learn how they can avoid becoming victims. They offer information on an assortment of topics, including common types of abuse, who typically preys on the elderly people, and warning signs that you can look out for.
So, guys, we really appreciate you listening to us tonight. I know it was kind of short and sweet to a point, but there's a lot of information in there. I'm pretty sure, and I hope this isn't going to be our last time being on here like this and kind of giving you guys some information, but this is the meat and potatoes of the entire thing, okay? If you have any questions, please call the Goffstown Police Department, 497-4858. You can also look at the email page at police@goffstownnewhampshire.gov. You can speak with me, Officer Tim Shabbat, or Kelly Silly at any time. We're both here quite often. So if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call, send us an email with your question, and we will get back to you as soon as possible, okay?
Thank you.